View on.
The most underrated Australian film fits in a good stab at corporatisation of Australia. It says Liza. Welcome to Whoop Whoop. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, the Stephen Elliott film.
Okay, I
Yeah.
probably should have known about it. The Big Steal was brilliant, says Helen in Altona. David Calista says, I thought it was just me getting a bad definition on iView. Hope it is remedied. William McInnes, not McGuinness. Yes, okay, sorry. My fault. Bill Hunter died a few years ago, says Chris. Yes, indeed, he did. But it was a rule in Australian television. You weren't allowed to make a film unless there was a role for Bill Hunter in it. True. William McInnes, ABC Afternoon Radio over the summer break. Julia from Blackburn reminding us, yes, he was a fabulous host looking after summer in January last year. Brand new day. So many text messages coming in, just people nominating their favourite films.
Actually, the context for Brand New Day in David's series was really interesting because Rachel Perkins was talking about how it was a really vibrant, upbeat, comical depiction of an Indigenous community and how different that was from the ways that Indigenous Australia had been previously depicted.
Taylor Nesson, good morning to you.
Good morning, John and Debbie. I was just thinking about the castle. When I went to see it, it wasn't very popular on its first release, and I was about one of 12 people in the audience. And when it started on, I was grinning to start with, and then I was giggling, and then I was laughing. But I was looking around me, and I was wondering why I was the only one in the theatre who was doing that. I was feeling a bit silly at the time. But I think it's a sort of an Australian sense of humour that you need to really appreciate it. But I loved David being so honest in his admitting that it took him a while to understand it too. And that maybe being an Australian is a sort of an ongoing learning curve. But I love David's show. And
well, it's just refreshing when people admit when they're wrong and people are fessing up to their imperfections and the humanity of it all. I mean, that's what you want on television instead of all this kind of, overly whitened teeth people smiling with no brain but lots of sort of,
I have to say, when he was talking about his mum's recognition of him towards the end of the show, that brought a tear to my eye too. I thought that was just lovely.
It was a great moment because he can be very English in his reserve, and you really saw the emotion there, and the way that the series was structured to present him as an outsider and someone who he talks a little about a difficult relationship with his father. That moment I thought was incredibly poignant.
We better wind it up. Andrew Westfoot's Gray, good morning to you.
Good morning, John.
Good, welcome.
One thing I've always loved is at 7:36 every morning is the banter between yourself and Red. What I would absolutely love to see is an extended version of that, either on the radio or on TV.
That's so sad, Andrew.
No, I absolutely love it. You two together just make me laugh, and I'm sure so many other people would agree.
Yeah, look, I think less is more is the phrase that comes to mind in response to your suggestion, Andrew.
Yeah, and I think sort of Red, he's just so busy, he's just got so much on.
Yeah, and he's got to get away from here in order to go and have a swim and walk around the coffee shops and meet up with friends for lunch and all that. I mean, he couldn't possibly squeeze more into his busy schedule.
No, but seriously, I do love that banter, and I'm sure a lot of other people do too.
Well, that's very kind of you, and thank you. But look,
maybe your people need to talk to his.
No. I'm absolutely sure. I mean, it's about storytelling, and there are different medium that are used in different ways to do different things. And just because something works for 5 minutes in the morning on the radio doesn't mean it translates or transfers to any other form of storytelling at all.
That's true, although also sometimes it can.
Yeah, I mean, I just, a few months ago I did this little story about an old race car for 7:30.
A race car?
And
surprising.
A car, yeah. And an old car that had a broken engine in it. They used 3D printing to come up with a technological solution that nothing else could do. And it took weeks, the time it takes just to make, 8 minutes of television. Extraordinary.
On the other hand, you look back and you think, well, The Simpsons started as a 5-minute sketch on the Tracy Ullman show, and whoever had Chris Lilly started doing small sketches as part of The Big Bite. Sometimes you can identify something that has the